Hi you guys, I'm just popping in here really quick. Future Lindsay here. We did have some technical difficulties with the audio of this episode. You will be able to abruptly hear that my microphone is not working for the first 20 minutes of this episode. As you will see, I had to stop and I was deployed. And you will understand that if you listen to the episode, you'll understand what I was deployed to do. But when I came back to resume filming the episode, that first chunk was actually not recorded, or it just wouldn't upload. So I actually only got the audio for the remainder of the episode, which is also why I go over time in this episode as well. So I just wanted to come on here and let you know that when you start listening to this episode, the audio is going to sound like shit. And I am very sorry. However, it is only about 20 minutes worth. And then my microphone does kick in after that. So I do apologize. But thanks for sticking through this with me. Okay? Thanks. Enjoy the episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe. Today we are joined by Frank Howe, my one and only, my beautiful, beautiful son who I birthed. Best dog in the world, you could ask anybody. And an all-around good guy. He has decided to lay right here. And, in his defense, this is actually his spot on the couch, okay? On top of this blanket, on this side of the couch, on the long pillow. That is his spot. So for me to be here in the spot, that's kind of on me. So we will be joined by Frank today, although he doesn't really like to be disturbed and he's not really a big cuddler. So the fact that we are so close and I will be here speaking, talking. Another note, there are 3 very stealthy flies inside my apartment right now. I tried to have an operation to take them out before I began filming, but it was turning into quite the operation. I couldn't get them. So if you see them flying around, I do apologize. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll probably see them. One thing about me, man, I fucking hate flies. Flies are useless, I'll say. Hold on a second. Actually, I'm gonna Google it. What do flies do for the environment? Flies are more than just a nuisance. They play a vital role in the environment as decomposers, pollinators, and a food source. They break down organic matter, recycle nutrients, and contribute to plant reproduction. Additionally, many animals rely on flies as a food source. Now that pisses me off because save the bees, I understand that. Bees are cute. Bees are friendly. You ever seen a beekeeper scoop them up with their bare hands? I mean, they are actually pretty chill creatures. And the earth can't survive without them. I fear the earth could survive without flies, though. And I don't give a fuck what they do for the environment. Okay? They are the bane of my existence, and I fucking hate them. And my cat over there is trying to get the damn fly, too. These cats are almost useless when it comes to flies and spiders. The other day I went to close this damn curtain and the gnarliest spider came descending down and then disappeared inside the couch. Does that ever happen to you? It's not cool. Oh, no, 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 no. It's very traumatizing. And while I was looking for the spider in the couch, it climbed from underneath the couch and was basically right by my foot while I was looking through the couch for the spider. Okay? And if I tell my cat, look at this spider, eat it, these cats are not athletic. Okay? These cats, they like to chill. Okay? The only thing this guy's fucking chasing is the red dot. And that's because he's not smart enough to know that it's not real. You give him a real spider, and he is like just laying around. Doesn't give a fuck. So, oh, this fly situation is, it's really pissing me off. But anyways, yeah, Frank will probably leave at some point. He doesn't really like cuddling, and he doesn't really like when I speak around him. He likes the environment to be super chill. Bro, it really got me fucking paranoid, these damn flies. Anyway, how was your guys' week? I hope it was good. I hope you know, if you've been stressed out or, you know, been having a hard time anyway, maybe you took my advice from last week and did a little bit of rotting, you know, doctor's orders, you know. And if you did, what show did you start? You know, were you watching Love Island? Did you start Breaking Bad if you've never seen it? Oh God, not the fly. He almost got it. Did you get it? Bro, this is gonna be really distracting. I might have to like stop and form another operation to get these damn flies out of my damn shot. You know, a whole day on set will be ruined, you know, making movies if there's a fly on set. I guess it's like really hard to CGI it out of the shot. And they buzz around too, and they be running into walls, and it causes a lot of, you know, come on, bro. Let's exterminate all the flies in the world. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good week, and I hope you took my advice and did a little bit of rotting. Speaking of advice, I was considering doing a little bit of an advice panel on the pod. You know, send in some questions, possibly, you know, an audio recording of something that you're going through that you may want my advice on. I don't want anybody to trauma dump on me, but I do think that I give good advice. I think I'm very wise. And I say that because if there's an analogy that can be used to describe the situation, and bring both sides to an understanding of what's going on in the situation through an analogy, that's sort of my strong point, you know? I'm very good at that. So let me know what you guys think. Should I do an advice panel? I think it would be cool, you know? It would, the cats are chasing the fly. I think it could bring a little bit more of a, you know, get you guys a little bit more involved in the pod, you know, a little more, you know, immersive experience here. And I think that could be fun. But I'll leave it up to you. If you guys want that, let me know in the comments below, or send me a DM or a text or whatever. Like, if you got an issue you want to talk about, I would love to break it down for you, because I am wise, like I said. So yeah, that's what's going on over here with the pod. This is episode 9, which means we are almost to double digits. And of course, I have to say thank you for, you know, sticking with me for this long. I really appreciate you guys being supportive of the pod. I know I say that every week, but it is true. It is true. And even if nobody was listening to this, I'd probably still be doing it because I am enjoying it and I do be yapping. And for those reasons, I'm a podcast girly now. And, you know, I think I really want to get some guests on the pod, possibly be a guest on someone else's pod. I think the collaborations will aid in the growth of the pod, and you know, maybe I could make this my job. That would be super cool. So yeah, I would like some guests. A lot of people want to be on the pod, and while that's great, and I love that you're confident enough to ask, I don't currently have the logistics and the budget to support a 2-person podcast at this time. You know, I would need another mic and, you know, another angle for the other person, and I would have to actually not talk about myself and talk about the guest, which will be hard for me because I just be yapping about myself here, which is fine. You know, you guys seem to be enjoying it and I'm enjoying it, and so I would like a guest on the pod, or start having guests pretty soon. But for right now, let's dip our toes in the little advice panel. If you guys are down for that, please let me know. Or tell me, girl, nobody would ever take your advice. Why are you offering it? That's also valid. But if you're a close friend of mine, you know I give good advice. You know I am wise. And I think deep down, I'm a philosopher. And I know that sounds very arrogant, but I got philosophy for days, dude. And so one of these days, I'm going to do some philosophy kind of stuff on this channel. Might ruffle a little feathers, but I just think, I don't know, it might be in the stars for me to philosophize with my audience, you know, maybe get you to relate and understand where I'm coming from. You know, I see everything from a bird's eye view. I feel like I'm in space and I can see everything about the situation, and then I can then articulate to those involved that are asking me my advice on the situation. I'm able to articulate that pretty well through visual comparisons and analogies. Like I said, I'm just going on about how I give really good advice, but it is true, okay? I am a wise ass bitch. So maybe we'll do advice. We'll see what you guys say. Yeah, so this week was really busy for me. Guess what? I still don't have my car. We are on week 3, almost 4 of me not having my car. It is not as easy of a fix as I once thought. Here we go. 1, 2, 3 weeks and 2 days, but who's counting? It's been really hard to get around town. And you really don't know how far away all of your regular errands are until you don't have a car. I didn't have a car for a long ass time in from 2017 to 2021 or 2022 that I didn't have a car. And I was a burden on everybody. And we won't go into that again because I did talk about that last week about I hate asking for help. But yeah, it was pretty tragic all that time I spent without a car. So I'm getting a little PTSD from that, but I'm still acting chill. I'm chill. Everything I need will come to me. So I'm not worried about it. Shout out to the universe for, you know, hooking a sister up with the dream life. Okay, little bumps in the road. Or maybe it's not a bump in the road because I'm not even driving on the road, but hey. I got a good support system, so we out here, we living. Last week I spoke of, you know, a couple of my favorite movies. And I wanted to elaborate on some more of those ideas, some more of those just movies in general. I think a lot of people don't know about me, and how I used to want to make movies. That was sort of my dream. Growing up, my dad was a movie editor for like a, low budget indie filmmaker. And so I spent, a little bit of time on set as a teenager. Set is really fucking boring. If you've ever been on one, it is both painfully boring and outrageously chaotic. And that is what set life is. Growing up, I wanted to be an actor. And so for actors, you're rehearsing and all that kind of stuff. You're in hair, you're in makeup, you're in wardrobe. But you're also waiting for hours on end before you go and film your scene, which, probably will take an hour, for you to actually film it, but you've been there since 8 a.m. So being on set is very chaotic. I do remember that. I did act in one of the films that my dad edited with that indie group, in where it was like a horror film. It was a horror film, and here was my character. I was in a flashback of the lead, I think it was the lead of the film. She was having a flashback of herself playing frisbee on the lawn with her brother. Okay? She throws the frisbee to her brother at the same time her dad is coming out of the backyard with the lawnmower. Okay? I'm a really good storyteller if you guys can't tell. So she's having this flashback. Her dad's coming out with the lawnmower. It is on. She throws the frisbee to her brother. The frisbee lands underneath the lawnmower, and her stupid ass little brother goes to grab it and ends up, his whole hand is like, gets mangled in the lawnmower blades. Okay, it's a horror movie. It was like a thriller horror kind of thing. So my character throws the frisbee. My brother, he's got this prosthetic hand and it's missing fingers and it's spraying blood everywhere. And I have to run up and I'm screaming and I'm because my brother's fucking hand is like squirting blood everywhere. They cut the whole scene. Kind of lost my voice for that, but thanks for cutting basically the whole damn thing. But that's showbiz, baby. You could spend fucking 4 months doing a fucking side character situation, then cut your whole shit out. Most of the time you get paid, to do said thing, as you should. But yeah, dude, they cut my whole shit out. And I remember how to do voiceover as well, like post. I had to go in and record like this, my screaming this is before they decided to cut my whole scene. And I had to go over there and I had to scream. And so I was in there and they were like, okay, like you can scream, it's totally fine. Like they have like their headphones on and everything. They're like over there, like, computering or, engineering or whatever they're fucking doing on the other end. And they're like, yeah, so in the scene, you scream, you're saying, dad, his hand or whatever I was saying. So just do that, we're going to put it on top, whatever. And I'm like, I'm like gonna scream though. Like you guys saw the scene, right? Like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Like you want me to just scream into this mic like this in this garage? And they were like, yeah, dude, we know what the scene is. Just go ahead and do it. And I'm like, all right. So they start the recording. I go in there. I start screaming. And the guy wearing the headphones was like, "Oh my God, seriously? What the fuck do you mean, seriously, bro? I told you I'm screaming in the scene. Didn't you turn the dial down on your fucking headphones, you idiot? What do you mean?" I was so embarrassed. I think I was like 14 or 15 when I did this. I'm like, bro, what do you fucking mean? Why are you trying to embarrass me? And I'm over here like, this is already super awkward that I have to like scream in the fucking microphone like this, but you're gonna make it seem like I'm screaming too loud? I'm sorry, my brother's hand was just fucking chopped off by a goddamn, blade. And it's bleeding everywhere. It's gushing. We have this prosthetic hand that's literally spewing blood everywhere. And we filmed it at my grandma's house in the front yard, right? So yes, there's camera and there's lights and a bunch of crew and everybody's over there. You all right, pal? So there's crew and everything, so it was very obvious that we were filming a movie in this front yard. But I do remember it was really funny because they had made this giant bucket of blood so that they could hook it up to this prosthetic hand that was spewing blood everywhere. And the first time they mixed it, they were like, "Oh, this color sucks. We have to dump the whole thing and start over." So they poured out the whole bucket of blood into the damn gutter in this neighborhood. So if you were like maybe living at like several doors down, you couldn't really see the crew, but you could hear me screaming over and over again when we're doing take after take after take after take. I mean, I really did lose my voice that day. And I got blood all over my shoes too. I remember, like, I thought I was so cool. I had Chucks on and I had fake blood like splattered all over it. And the makeup girl was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I ruined your shoes." And I was like, "It's actually cool. Like, I can't wait to wear these to school and be like, yeah, I filmed a movie." And there was like blood. I thought I was super cool. And I was super cool, let's be real. But they dumped this bucket into the gutter, and so people down the street were hearing me scream bloody murder, and when they came out to like see what was good, there was hella fucking blood running through the streets into the gutter. Like, the gutters were all filled up with blood, fake blood. But how would they know that? I mean, it really seems like I'm getting murdered up the road and now there's blood everywhere. I mean, that's crazy work. So that's what happens. You don't have any licensing to do to film. So I did that. That was really fun, being in that movie, even though they cut me out. And so, yeah, I grew up always wanting to make films. I'm a really big fan of short films. I really like that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate, the art and the storytelling of it all. However, my favorite movies are some of like the worst movies that you could, you know what I mean? I'm not over here to say that my favorite fucking movie is, Shawshank Redemption. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that's a good movie. Everybody knows it's well made. I'm not going to say my favorite movie's fucking Braveheart, bro. It's like, I could pick you out of a fucking lineup if your favorite movie is Braveheart. Okay? And the lineup is in jail. Someone's trying to find the perpetrator. That's the lineup I'm talking about. Your fucking favorite movie is Braveheart. So, my favorite movie is Shrek. And hear me out. We love Shrek in this house. Okay, Shrek came out. Let me pull it up. I should have already pulled it up because I knew I wanted to talk about Shrek today. Shrek came out in 2001. May 2001. Before 9/11. Everything was good. I was 11 years old. Okay. It was summertime. It was approaching summertime, May. And this is one of the first movies that I ever saw. And you know what? If you're older than me, if you're Gen X, and you're like, you don't know nothing about movies, blah blah blah. This has all been done before, blah blah blah. Mind your fucking business, okay? I'm talking about my generation of movies. But anyway, this is one of the first movies that was like, okay, it's very playful. It's obviously fantasy. It's an ogre. Um, but the soundtrack was lit. I mean, some of the like David Bowie, Smash Mouth. Honestly, Smash Mouth can thank Shrek. But Smash Mouth or Shrek put Smash Mouth on the fucking map. Let's be real and let's not kid about that. That's true. Okay? Smash Mouth would be nothing if it wasn't for Shrek. So, Smash Mouth, Half Cocked, Bad Reputation. Some of these are, it's kind of hard to tell, like when it's just, dude, All Star, Smash Mouth. I mean, come on, dude. Let me see. Show more. Show more. The Proclaimers. Yeah, see, I don't even know half of these artists. I'm just like, I know the song. Everybody knows the song, you know? So, yeah, it was one of those. It was also one of those, like, kid movies, right? Like, fucking Fly. It was a kids movie, but it had a lot of adult references in it. Nothing too crazy, not graphic shit that shouldn't be in kids movies. Like, it had some references to older films and stuff like that in it. And don't even get me started on the star-studded cast. Okay? Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, okay, John Lithgow. Okay, what's his name was probably the best goddamn Lord Farquaad. One of the best characters ever written. Let's just be real about that. Okay, the fact that he was little, a classic king behavior, doesn't want to fucking do the work to get the princess, send somebody to do it for him. Like, when he's on the damn horse and he finally gets there to her or whatever, and he's got the legs, there's like armor legs on the horse, so when they pick him up, the legs stay because it makes him look like he's regular height. That shit done fucked me up, y'all. Oh my god, this fly is fucking taunting me. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do an operation. Please hold. Y'all, the way I just fucking had to do a whole goddamn operation to get these damn flies. I got two, my cat got one. I think we don't have any more flies in the building, but god damn, dude, I need some technical gear. I need a ranking. Okay, I'm literally out here fucking doing top secret operations to get these damn flies out of my fucking house. Pissing me off. The fuck? Right in the middle of me talking about my favorite movie, Shrek 1. God damn. So, anyways, where were we? And you know what? Let me just say one more thing about the damn flies. I don't have any Raid. Okay, I don't have any spray. I don't have a spray. But what I do have is a damn linen spray that you spray on your, bed sheets to keep them smelling like fresh or whatever, and it's like some kind of grapefruit type smell. So I've been spraying the flies with those. So now the fucking pungent ass smell of grapefruit is all throughout the house because I've been all over. So, it's a little strong in here, and I would like to open the windows, turn on the fans, but I can't do that because, Lord knows as soon as I open one of these windows, somebody's gonna start fucking mowing a lawn or using a damn leaf blower or doing some woodwork, using a fucking buzz saw or some shit, you know what I mean? So I can't really open the doors when I'm filming this thing, but, um anyways, back to Shrek. Now, I do not remember where we left off. I think I was probably talking about the star-studded cast of it all. That operation took me about 15 minutes, so I am a little behind in my head. Um Here's a fun fact. The guy who plays the gingerbread man, his name's Conrad Vernon. I didn't know that, learn something new every day. Um yeah, so Shrek is a well-written film, okay? It has a beautiful beginning, middle, and end. It is funny. Like, the jokes are punchy and they're good, and the references are good, and the characters are amazing. Um, and yeah, dude, Mike Myers, he just couldn't damn wait to do a voice character where he got to be that, Scottish, Irish kind of character that he loves doing. Um, And so good for him, good for him. I wonder if he's like a producer or something on this because I think he did have a pretty sizable role in making the film other than being Shrek, but that is a trivia for another day. Um who was supposed to voice Shrek but died? Oh, Chris Farley. Could have been great, could have been great. We did not want him to pass away, but everything happens for a reason, I guess. Not like, him passing away, but Mike Myers, man. Sorry, I'm trying to get resituated after I just fucking got back from deployment. Flies are fucking terrorists, dude. Um, so yeah, Shrek, best movie ever made. You really can't convince me otherwise, and the best sequel to a movie ever made? Say it with me. Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is a perfect sequel. Okay? We know the original characters, and this is the natural progression in these characters' lives, right? He did marry the princess, and she did decide to stay an ogre. Since she's been rescued, of course she's going to have to go back to the castle in which she came from, um, because her parents obviously knew that she was going to be rescued by Prince Charming, who is also a very funny written character, especially for 2004 when Shrek came out. Prince Charming is you see those all over TikTok now. You know what I mean? I feel like these Gen Z kids, they really need to watch Prince Charming and understand that they're being cringe. Well, not being cringe, but they're like, it's no secret what you're doing here. Trying to be like this handsome fucking guy. Shrek 4D? When the hell did that come out? Um, Shrek 5 in 2026, dude. I am pretty scared. So, what's funny about Shrek 5 is they did put out like a little a little snippet, and they done changed the animation. And you know what? The animation of Shrek was like really good for its time. Animation was sort of just becoming what it is. Like, we're not doing cartoons anymore, drawing, animation, illustration. We're doing this sort of animated CGI type thing. And for its time, Shrek was actually um kind of lit for what, for the times. So, if you're going to change the animation, make it a little bit better, but they change the animation to be sort of like the Croods, which I think that is what that movie is called, The Croods.
Yeah, so the Croods is even a little bit better animation, to be honest. We don't need it in the style of the Croods, by the way. They did release this little snippet of Shrek 5, and people were pissed, to put it lightly. They were like, why the fuck would you change the animation? Because there's already been 4 fucking movies at this point, all has the same style animation. Like, why would you have to change it? Like, what's the point? Um and so I agree. I hope that they change it back. I can see right here on the overview on Google, the I guess the poster for it is the regular animation, and then they have these little clips over here, which is like, excuse me, the Crude's sort of animation. So I guess we'll see how it pans out. I will be seeing it. I will be painting myself green and sticking some fucking ears on the side of my head to go see Shrek 5. I will be the first one in line, even if I am very critical about the animation that they change it to. But anyway, Shrek 2 is the best sequel ever made. We have the introduction of Puss in Boots, a very beloved character in the universe. We also get to meet the parents. We love that. They are insufferable, just like me. And we get more Donkey, and Prince Charming, and Prince Charming's mother, who is the fairy godmother, but is also a raging bitch. And I don't know, just all around, there is not one bad thing I can say about Shrek 1 or Shrek 2. I do watch Shrek 1 and or Shrek 2 weekly at my house, and I'm not going to be shamed for that. Okay? I think that liking Shrek is kind of, popular, it's trendy, over the last couple of years, but I don't think people understand how much I love Shrek. Like, I am a Shrek fucking girly. I live for it. I live and breathe Shrek in this house. If you come over to my house unannounced, picture this. Picture this, you're rolling up, you're over by my house, you're like, oh my God, I haven't seen Lindsay in, X amount of days, weeks, months, years. I know she lives right here. She probably would hate if I turned up unannounced because she's probably fucking nude in her house, which is probably true. But I'm just gonna go knock on the door and see what's good. You knock on my door, I open it, I'll be watching Shrek. Any time of day, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if I'm watching it, I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing laundry, I'm computering, I'm doing graphic design, I'm emailing. Who's in the background? Shrek. Every single time. Okay? Shrek is probably a DVD that I should have bought. My parents have it in their collection. But I do not have Shrek on DVD. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of dropping into a panic. I need to have Shrek on DVD. Or Blu-ray or whatever they're doing these days. So yeah, we love Shrek, we love Shrek. Wait. Is this the same fucking guy? Oh no, it's not. So anyway, who plays Prince Charming? Captain of the Guards, Shrek Donkey, Puss in Boots dude, Antonio Banderas. Banderas? I mean, Rupert Everett. A very old man, 66 years old. I guess that's not very old. He just kind of looks old in this, but he does play the voice of Prince Charming, which is kind of funny because he is much older than the character is. But anyway, Shrek 2, a flawless sequel. And then after that, Shrek the Third. I can't really speak to it that much. That's the one with Justin Timberlake, I think. Yeah, I can't really. This is where you kind of lose me with Shrek. As time goes on, we need to learn what. I thought I heard another fly. Goddamn PTSD now from my deployment. Um, I think we need to you know what? As soon as you introduce kids into the mix of any bunch of characters, if two of the characters have kids together, I am now uninterested. I am uninterested, you know. I think this is the movie where this is the one where let me just read the overview real quick because I gotta make sure since there is four um movies. Shrek is just starting to settle down in his beloved swamp with his wife Fiona, but their mucky bliss doesn't last for long as word arrives that the ogre's froggy father-in-law is about to croak. The very last thing Shrek wants is to become king, but with no other heir in sight, it looks like the grumpy green one is destined to never live quietly in the swamp again. A glimmer of hope appears in the form of heir Artie. Okay, so this is the movie where he finds Justin Timberlake's character, which is Artie, and he got some kind of affiliation with the family. He's an heir that Shrek can pass on the kingdom to, for lack of a better word. He does not want to be king. He does not want to live in the castle. He wants to stay in the swamp. And so I actually do remember that one, and it is mid as fuck, that movie. Very mid. Sorry, Justin Timberlake. I do like him as an actor and a lot of stuff, but he is also a terrible person. So what are you gonna do? Shrek Forever After gets really crazy because long settled into marriage life and fully domesticated Shrek, Mike Mitchell. Who the fuck is Mike Mitchell? He does not. Hold on. I'm a little bit confused here. I think that this is incorrect because Shrek is voiced by Mike Myers, obviously. And Mike Mitchell plays. This is very confusing. I'm just going to move on because I don't even want to get into it. Okay, so long settled into marriage life and fully domesticated, Shrek begins to long for the days when he felt like a real ogre. So this is the one where we have Rumpelstiltskin. And Rumpelstiltskin convinces Shrek to give up, sacrifice a day of his life, any old day, to be able to, trade it for the life he wants or something. I can't remember exactly, but this is a terrible overview. Um, and so Rumpelstiltskin basically manipulates Shrek into signing over the day that he was born. He said, "You can trade a day and I'll give you whatever you want." Shrek is like, "Okay, cool. Which day?" And he's like, whatever day. Like maybe the day you were born, like when you're a baby, like you don't even remember that." And Shrek is like, "All right, cool." Signs on the dotted line and ends up basically losing his whole life because he just gave up the day that he was born. And turns out he was never born. And he has to see Fiona be probably the baddest bitch she could have ever be. Honestly, in this movie, she's like a fucking warrior, like, she's like the head of a damn, you know, group of people who, like, fight or whatever, This is a very long, overview here on, Wikipedia, and I won't go through it because we're not gonna only talk about Shrek, but, um, yeah, so that Shrek is very just it feels out of the universe, like the Shrek universe. They're really fucking pushing it with that one, and it's bothersome to me because 1 and 2 are just absolutely perfect. Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, no notes, dude. 10 out of 10 on both of those. And let's not forget, in Shrek 2, Shrek finds the happily ever after potion, which he drinks it, he becomes handsome. Do you guys remember what the handsome Shrek looks like? Oh my God, dude. This is a very hot man. This is a very hot man. I know this guy's got power tools, even though this is like low key in like medieval times, is when Shrek takes place. But damn, look at him go, dude. He's fine as hell. I would drink that potion too. And does Fiona ever get to see him like this? Because if I would have seen him like this, I'd have been like, let's fucking go with it. Let's go with this. Thick, wavy locks, taut, round buttocks. I mean, whew, he's fine. He's fine in this movie. So, that's another thing that I really like about Shrek too. Also, Donkey drinks the potion as well, and he becomes a noble steed. He becomes a, big, beautiful horse. He says, I could count. And he's running around and stuff. So he's kind of feeling himself being this big ass horse. He's not a donkey anymore. Shrek is in his fine ass, he's probably like fucking 6'6", 250, walking around in his cute outfit. So, and he does it all for Fiona. You know, he's like, she's only an ogre because I'm an ogre, and I want to give her the opportunity to, be beautiful again with me, and we could all be beautiful and we can move forward like this. Especially since her other option here is Prince Charming, someone who is by Vogue's standards, you know what I mean, conventionally hot. Me, however, I do not find Prince Charming hot at all. um in fact, he is very unattractive to me. He is giving Jamie Lannister for sure. And while Jamie Lannister is, I guess, conventionally attractive as well, his personality, especially in the first several seasons of Game of Thrones, is enough to turn anyone off. You know what I mean? He's fucking his sister. Why the fuck would I want to watch that? Or why would I be attracted to him after I saw him fucking his sister? Not only his sister, it's his twin sister. How fucking sick can you be? You nasty? Okay, so I don't find Prince Charming hot, but the audience is like, damn, Prince Charming is fine. He is cringe. He is, very childish. And his mom gives him everything he wants because she's the fucking fairy godmother. But she does not mean well. She's an evil bitch too. And this just goes to show, if you have money, you have power. And I think that is the lesson in Shrek too. And also there's some blackmail going on in Shrek too, right? Turns out, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Shrek 2, I don't know what the fuck you're doing watching my podcast. I mean, if you know me, I'd be loving Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. But in Shrek 2, we find out that Fiona's father, the king, is actually a frog. And the only reason he's a human man who is running the fucking kingdom and has a beautiful wife, aka Fiona's mother, is because he did a deal with the devil. And by the devil, I mean the fairy godmother. He said, I want to be king, make me a human, because obviously I cannot be a king as a frog. Okay. The world is not that inclusive at this point in time in this universe in medieval times. So she is basically like, okay, I will turn you into a human because so you could be king, but here's the fucking deal, bitch. I will keep you a human as long as my son can marry your daughter and he could be king eventually. When you pass away, when you pass along the old heir of it all. And so Fiona's father is very much incentivized to make sure that Fiona ends up marrying Prince Charming. So there's a little blackmail going on there. the fairy godmother, she's pulling the strings. And, when she doesn't get her way, she said, "You know what? Fuck you. You're a frog again." And then everybody kind of discovers that he's a frog in the end. But at that point, he has learned his lesson in many different ways. And yeah, and so and look at that, dude. Just the way I broke it down just now. I mean, the story line is just so good. Okay, it's compelling. There's character development. There's ebbs and flows, and there's a climax, and and there's music. In the second one, there's a musical aspect to it. Okay, like there are a lot of good things about Shrek 1 and 2 that, I could really go on and on and on about it, but, I will not. But I would like to encourage you to watch them, watch them both back to back if possible. And, tell me your thoughts. Do you have any notes? I bet you don't because it is perfect. And if you have any notes, I will block you. But I'm just saying, watch Shrek 1 and 2, introduce your kids to it. If you have kids, um, you should be introducing them to Shrek, as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the day you get home from the hospital. I know that's what I would do if I ever had a child, which I, will not. But if I ever did, maybe if I was a handmaid or something like that, someone forced me to, I would give birth at the hospital, and then upon my arrival back at home, I'm going to be watching Shrek as soon as I get back. No question about it. My baby is hours old at this point. We need to get him started on, peak cinema of the days. So that would be what I would do. And then that's what you should do as well if I had any say. Okay, so my next thing that the next movies I wanted to talk about is, I don't even think I have time to go through these because there are like 12 of them. Um, God damn, in order. Let's see. Halloween Michael Myers. Now, Michael Myers is my favorite horror villain. Okay. I think that hold on. My friend Sarah is going to get really mad at me for this, but I'm going to set the record straight right now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm so sorry, Sarah, to tell you this, but this is the AI overview of Freddy Krueger. I literally just typed in Freddy Krueger and it says Freddy Krueger is a fictional character and the main antagonist of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the horror film franchise. He is a child murderer who was burned to death by the parents of his victims and who returns as a malevolent entity in their dreams to torment and kill them. Freddy is known for his distinct appearance, including his burned face, fedora, okay, girl, striped sweater, and razor glove. Sarah really said she really thinks that he was misunderstood, that he did not murder these children, that he was not a pedo. But according to Google here, girl, Freddy Krueger was a child murderer in the fictional town of Springwood. He was apprehended but released due to a legal technicality. The warrant was not properly signed. Okay, there was a warrant out for his arrest, girl. The parents of his victims then took the law into their own hands and burnt him alive in a broiler room. Okay, he returns as a supernatural being. So Freddy Freddy Krueger is a pedo. I'm sorry to break it to you guys who love Freddy Krueger. Okay? Now, Michael Myers, however, He's kind of obsessed with his sister. So it's not like he's, much better. At the end of the day, they are both serial killers. So I don't know I don't know. Who is your favorite? You know what I mean? Jason Voorhees, a mama's boy. Not really a good look for you, pal. Jason Voorhees is a fictional character, obviously, and the primary antagonist of Friday the 13th film series. He is known for his signature hockey mask, which is hot, I will say. Um, Jason does have a hot bod. He's big, he's tall. I wonder if it says how tall he is on here. He is known for his signature hockey mask and machete, and his penchant for brutally murdering anyone who enters his territory, particularly around Camp Crystal Lake. Jason is depicted as a large, imposing figure, often with superhuman strength and durability, and is portrayed as a relentless and virtually unstoppable killer. So that's kind of similar to Michael Myers. He is very big and seemingly unstoppable. Let me see what the AI overview is of Michael Myers because I didn't actually type in his name. Let's see what AI overview says about him. Michael Myers is a character from the slasher film series Halloween. He first appears in 1978 in John Carpenter's Halloween as a young boy who murders his elder sister Judith Myers. 15 years later, he returns home to Haddonfield, Illinois to murder more teenagers. Now, they don't really clarify that he's trying to get to Laurie Strode, I'm pretty sure is his whole thing is he's trying to murder her because she's like the last living person in the family, if I remember correctly. But Halloween is said Halloween is a movie series that revolves around Michael Myers, a masked figure who commits brutal murders. There are multiple timelines and reboots, which is what I'm about to get into, but the core narrative features Michael escaping from a mental institution and returning to his hometown of Haddonfield to terrorize residents, particularly Laurie Strode and her family. So Laurie Strode is, I believe, Michael's primary target, a survivor of his initial attacks, and a central figure in many sequels. So Jamie Lee Curtis, she's in several of the movies. Um, the original timeline, looky here, 1978, the first film, introducing Michael Myers and the premise of his murderous return to Haddonfield. So Michael Myers, he's just going until somebody stops him type shit. You know what I mean? Freddy Krueger, Haunting My Dreams, rude as fuck, you know? Admittedly, good storyline for a movie, but he is a pedo child killer, so I don't know what the fuck, like, fuck him. At the end of the day, Jason Voorhees, low key, he's hot, but he is a mama's boy, okay? And what is his superhuman abilities? He possesses incredible strength, allowing him to overpower and kill his victims with brutal efficiency. Girl, you had me at overpower. Let's go. He does have some regenerative durability, while not explicitly stated in the as immortal. Jason can survive severe injuries such as gunshots, stabbings, and blunt force trauma. Same with Halloween. Michael Myers, he's nearly indestructible, and this is why we have Halloween 1, 2, we're not going to talk about 3 because I don't have time for it, and it's not a Michael Myers movie. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and then we have The Curse of Michael Myers being Halloween 6. Okay? Way down the line, it's actually only 3 years, but hey, we have Halloween H2O. That is where we all fall in love with Josh Hartnett. I'm pretty sure he is in that movie. And, when I was 8 years old, I was a big fan of his. Okay. Halloween Resurrection coming in 2002. I think that is the one with Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks. Not a good one. Unfortunately, that one is very, very bad. Then we have Rob Zombie's Halloween, which was decent. Rob Zombie makes some good horror films. I got to give it to him. The guy is, a decent filmmaker. Um and I wasn't mad when he said he was going to do Halloween. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he did that in 2007. 2009, we have another Rob Zombie, Halloween 2 for Rob Zombie's universe there. And then we have Halloween in 2018, Halloween Kills 2021, Halloween Ends 2022. And there has since been another, or actually, no, maybe that was the last one. I will say these are the Danny McBride ones. Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Okay. Those are some of the worst movies I ever seen. And I love Danny McBride. I'm not going to get into it because I will sound very creepy, but I really do love Danny McBride. And the fact that he loves Michael Myers only brings us a little bit closer. You know what I mean? We have a lot in common. Everybody knows I love Michael Myers, but he did not do a good job on either of these movies. And the storyline, it's just... The thing about Michael Myers is at the end of a lot of these movies, he dies, okay? Most notably in, I believe, The Curse of Michael Myers. Oh, no. I think it's H2O. I think it's Halloween H2O. And that is a sequel that ignores the events of Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which is like, why even make a movie that already has an established storyline for the last, 30 years? I mean, Halloween had been going since 1978. And then in 1998, 30 years later, they're like, we're going to make a sequel and we're going to ignore 3 out of the 7 fucking movies, 6 movies that were already made. Like that, Michael Myers has been used and abused by Hollywood, okay? His name, put some respect on his name, by the way. You can't just make a movie and say, let's ignore all these movies that were already made about this character. You know? It's disrespectful. Those events already happened for Michael Myers. He already killed those people. He already made those connections. So why the fuck would you make a movie and ask us as a audience to forget about the things that already happened? It's rude. It's rude, and it's always pissed me off. And H2O is truly, yes, this is the one with Josh Hartnett. And he's good in it. He's good in it. And it's Jamie Lee Curtis, she's going strong as Laurie Strode. But this one it's giving more, I know that's not LL Cool J in this one. It is LL Cool J in this one. And it's also got Michelle Williams and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, okay, star-studded, but this movie is asking too much of us. It's asking us to forget the things that we have sung. This is called gaslighting. When you watch this movie and some of the stuff, and they have lines in this movie that are asking you to forget about the things that you know. And I think at this point, there's some in this movie that's like, one of the characters are like, didn't Michael Myers do blah, blah, blah? And the other characters were like, no, that actually never happened. It was a rumor. And then the other character is like, oh, that's crazy. I thought that happened. And you, as a viewer of the movie, you already seen all the damn movies since the goddamn 70s. You're like, what the fuck is this? Don't ask me to do this, dude. It's so rude and I hate it. And I'll never forgive them for that. Um, Halloween Resurrection continues the story from H2O, the story in which we are asked to forget about everything that we know. Rude, I know. And Resurrection is with Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks, which is, technically star-studded. Are they actors? No. Should they be in a Michael Myers fucking film? No. But they were, and I wonder. Oh, it's got a 3.9 out of 10 on IMDb. And that is 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, and that checks out. That checks out for me. And yeah, that's that checks out. That is the last. And then we have the Rob Zombie remake. Okay. This one was good. It was good. You know what I mean? I don't really have a lot of bad stuff to say. Sherry Moon Zombie, she's creepy. She's good, Um and yeah, I don't really remember the movie too much, so I don't have a lot to say. It does have a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes. That probably checks out, and it's a 6 out of 10 on IMDb. Kind of checks out. Let's see what some of the, and you know what? Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Those are my two favorite movies out of all of the Halloween movies. Let me see here. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So this one's hella fucking creepy because they introduce the niece of, Lori, or it's supposed to be Michael Myers' niece, and she turns evil, right? Because she touches him or something like that. She like holds his hand or something like that and makes her evil. But yeah, Jamie Lloyd, this made me want to be an actor. Watching this little girl fucking turn evil and start fucking slicing and dicing people, that shit, I was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And then in Halloween 5, she's in that movie as well, but she's so traumatized by the events that happen in Halloween 4 that she is now a mute and she can't speak, right? So she's really got to get her acting game on to do that. And it's good. And look at this damn you know movie poster. I mean, this is good stuff. You know what I mean? She's where Michael lives, and this time they're ready. The whole town is always ready to get him. Okay? They ain't never gonna get him. They ain't never gonna get him. And I think it is in Halloween H2O with Josh Hartnett and of course Jamie Lee Curtis, where she, and by she, I mean Jamie Lee Curtis, aka Laurie Strode. She literally cuts off the head of Michael Myers, and we see it. Okay? She decapitates him. And Hollywood is like, this is the end of Michael Myers because obviously he died in front of all of our eyes. There's no there's no joke about it. There's no way around it. There's no fucking loophole. He got his fucking head cut off. And that is that with Michael Myers. Because every time you think he dies, he doesn't die. You know what I mean? You can't just shoot the guy. You can't just shoot him. You can't just stab him. You can't just throw him down a flight of stairs, which, I mean, he fell down lots of flights of stairs in the series, in the sagas. So in Halloween H2O, the bitch chops his fucking head off. And we as a collective were like, damn, that's the end of Michael Myers. Then, okay, you really thought it was fucking over? You're a fucking amateur if you thought it was over. Because then Halloween Resurrection comes about, the one with Tyra Banks and fucking Busta Rhymes. And we're all like, when this trailer starts hitting the fucking town in 2002, we're like, what the fuck do you mean, resurrection? Is he a damn entity now? Is he a fucking ghost? Like, what the fuck is going to happen? We saw him die. He got his head chopped off. That's not really something you can recover from. Okay? So, at the top of Halloween Resurrection, we find out that the person whose head she chopped off was just some random dude dressed up as Michael Myers on Halloween. Because, mind you, all the shit goes down on Halloween night in the movie Halloween. Spoiler alert. That's when everything's going down. So, Halloween Resurrection comes about and they say, hey, we know that you guys saw him get decapitated by Laurie Strode. But as it turns out, that was actually the wrong guy. It was just some random dude dressed up in the same outfit as Michael Myers. Do y'all think I'm stupid? Do y'all think that we're all collectively going to like we're going to believe that we were all in a damn psychosis when you tried to decapitate the guy in the last movie and you're going to say that he's still alive? Crazy work by Hollywood, I'll say that. Crazy fucking work by Hollywood. Absolutely no respect in that regard because you have absolutely got to be fucking kidding me with that. So that's when we get Halloween Resurrection. And then after that, it's pretty much remakes. It's pretty much remakes. We have the Rob Zombie and we have the Danny McBride of it all. And all of those, I will say, do we need to fucking have any more Halloween Michael Myers movies? No. Will I be first in line with the fucking, jumpsuit and the boots and the damn mask to watch it? Yes, I will. Okay. And I think that that's a lot of what Hollywood knows of us as moviegoers. They say, even if you don't want it, you're gonna come see it. We know that even though we do not need this movie, you will be at the theater on opening night to see it because you're a little fucking bitch. And we can do whatever we want. And we can make whatever fucking movies we want. And your bitch ass will still be there going to fucking watch it. So I do feel attacked in that way because that is exactly me. Like I said with Shrek, do I want to fucking see Shrek 5? Do I want there to be a Shrek 5 in the animation style of the Croods? No, I do not. No, I do not. Will I be first in line painted green with two fucking ears on the side of my head? Yes, I will. So in that sense, I'm sort of the exact person that's sort of causing this, the audacity with fucking Hollywood these days. Um, but yeah, I mean, I love a good horror movie. I guess there is a good reason why they haven't made a fucking thousand remakes of damn Freddy Krueger. Friday the 13th. And fun fact, Friday the 13th was Johnny Depp's first movie. If I am not mistaken, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, not Friday the 13th. I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street 1984. Johnny Depp's first movie, I think. He may have been doing that one 21 Jump Street show before that, but as far as first film goes, I'm pretty sure this was his first film. And so that's kind of a fun fact, but Nightmare on Elm Street movies in order. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 7 Nightmare on Elm Streets. Story about a freaking pedo. Wes Craven, you can't really go wrong with him, 1984, 85, 87, 88, 89, 91, 94. So that's a pretty good run, I guess. Some of these are fucking horrible. And you know what? Friday the 13th is just as bad. Like they were running out of fucking ideas. That one of them is like Jason Goes to New York or something like that. Jason Goes to damn space. Jason Goes to hell. Jason Takes Manhattan. Why the fuck would they even make that, dude? And here's what fucks me up about these damn horror villains and them continuing to fucking make the damn movies like this. We got Friday the 13th, 1980, okay? Part 2 in 1981. Part 3, 1982. Part 4 in 1984, and it's titled Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. Okay? Then the very next year, we got another Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. Okay? 1 year after that, Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. Okay. Then we have another one, Friday the 13th, The New Blood. What happened to the final chapter? What happened to the final chapter, guys? Then we have Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan, dude. That sounds like an Olsen Twins movie. Why the fuck would Jason need to take Manhattan? What does he go there and see a fucking show on Broadway? Does he go see the damn Rockettes? I mean, why the fuck would you need to make that? Why would why would you desecrate the fucking name of Jason Voorhees in this way? Jason Voorhees Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Now here we are claiming a final movie in the title. But then shortly after that, we have Jason X. Wait, is this the one where it's Jason versus Freddy? Okay, no. Freddy versus Jason was actually kind of lit. And I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. And Michael would never associate with himself with something like that. Michael would never associate himself with a movie like that. Okay? Freddy and Jason, you guys are low on the totem pole. Okay? And so, maybe you did have to do this movie to stay relevant. That's fine. I did low-key like it, though. I do remember seeing it in 2003, by the way. And then in 2009, we have Friday the 13th. That's all it's called. So I would like to do a little marathon of these movies and really give a thorough, not that you want to hear me talk about this fucking guy at all, because Insufferable is the name of the game. And if I'm really going to go in and talk about each individual movie, I will do so. So Friday the 13th, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 movies. That will take me a long time to get through. Nightmare on Elm Street, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Nightmare on Elm Streets. Okay. And Halloween. I think there are 10 Halloween movies in order. Goddamn. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Wait. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 movies for Halloween Ends. And I will say Halloween Michael Myers came first in 1978. And then close behind that was Friday the 13th in 1980. And then after that, we had Nightmare on Elm Street in 1984. So Michael, Freddy, Jason, they are classics. You know, tell me who is your favorite. If you say Freddy, no offense, he's a fucking pedo, dude. He should not be your favorite. You know, I know he is charming and whimsical, but that's called grooming. That's called grooming, folks. And that is how pedos be acting, okay? They are typically pretty charming, you know, on the surface, you know, because they're trying to lure your children in. You know, diddle them or whatever they're doing. So, yeah, you know who's on the damn list? The old Epstein list? Freddy's on it, dude. That's why they won't release it. Um, Anyway, I have really gone over time on this one. I should have just done like a full episode just about horror movies in general. But we did it all together here, and I talked a lot about Shrek 2, which is my favorite fucking movie of all time. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to release you now. Class is dismissed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in once again to Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay Howe, and I will see you next week. Bye.